I'll have to go back because for a while, like in the 2000s, there seemed to be a pretty fair amount of good opening weekend matchups. I don't know if it compares to this or not. I'd have to go back and check it out. Some of them are duds. I mean, like you remember that year Miami was supposed to beat Alabama, or Southern Cal was supposed to beat Alabama out. So I don't know, but we've been getting less and less. And then this season is just a blockbuster. You mentioned Friday with Auburn and Baylor. I mean, that's going to be big, really big. Thursday night, East Carolina, NC State. That's a rivalry game. They played in a bowl last year, and they got in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
They open up with each other this year in Raleigh. I'm pretty sure our friend Tom Lukenbill could be on the call for ACC Network that Thursday. Nebraska, with a brilliant change in offensive coordinator, Dylan Raiola going to his second year. They got Dane Key at receiver, among others. They're expected to.
They're going to be better.
They are at Cincinnati. Scott Satterfield. I mean, they're not at Cincinnati. I apologize. They're playing Cincinnati at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, neutral field. Scott Satterfield's on the hot seat a little bit. There were times at Louisville, and really his entire time at App State, they were kind of giant killers. So Scottie Pippen's alma mater, Central Arkansas, plays at Missouri that Thursday night. That's going to – how many points do you think Missouri is going
47 and a half. I'm laying. Well, let me give you the complete SEC non-con slate. Well, the ones that are good, not the one you just mentioned.
Not Central Arkansas, Missouri?
Not that one, no. Missouri typically doesn't go out of its way to schedule Goliaths in the non-con.
No.
They take those 4 non-con games, and they're like, let's chalk up some dubs. But a lot of other SEC teams decided to challenge themselves right off the bat, okay? It's the premier game is going to be Texas at Ohio State. That just – do I need to say more? Come on. That's just ridiculously good. LSU at Clemson. Also ridiculously good. You mentioned Auburn at Baylor, South Carolina, Virginia Tech in Atlanta, Tennessee, Syracuse in Atlanta, kind of a doubleheader in the Benz. We're not used to seeing that. We're just used to seeing cupcake after cupcake after cupcake, and it's like, oh, can we get to week 2 now? Week 1 would almost be like a preseason game. Not this year. The SEC decided to challenge itself quite well, and it gives us all something to get very excited about right off the bat.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's play. Oh, Alabama at Florida State's another one.
I didn't mention. I'm sorry, Alabama at Florida State. Yeah, and even the people say, well, Florida State sucked last year. They were too. Yeah. They did, but that is not a cupcake game at all. Going to Tallahassee and playing a Florida State team that whether you like Castellanos or not, he's certainly an upgrade to what they had last year. Last year got off the ground bad and just stayed bad. This is a fresh slate. I expect Florida State to be one of the more improved teams in the country. And Alabama, who Kalen DeBoer just finished his podium talk in Atlanta at SEC Media Days. Yeah, they went 9-4, and that's cause for a celebration at a lot of places. It's not in Tuscaloosa. Mm-mm. Did you or did you not make the playoff? No? Okay, unacceptable. You will not miss it in year 2, or we will have words. And that's it all starts with don't lose in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Mike. And on Castellano specifically, he's kind of an attention getter for a lot of reasons. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of most of what he's done off the field. Not a fan of quitting on your team because you're hurt and can't play. Not a fan of talking about lighting up a whole conference when you're at Boston College. Not a fan of suing. What's he doing? Challenging the part of the House settlement. Like Thomas Castellanos must love Thomas Castellanos. That said, from a football standpoint, here's what's intriguing about him. At Boston College, under Bill O'Brien, who I believe got Thomas a lot better. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. He's one of the best ever. But what he likes to do offensively, scheme-wise, I'm not going to say it doesn't fit what Castellanos does, but what Malzahn does on offense fits a whole lot better. Think about the great quarterbacks Gus Malzahn's had through the years. they all play a lot like Thomas Castellanos. Cam Newton's the exception, obviously, but think about like Nick Marshall and how good he was in that system.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it like, well, this is scheme fit. You better be ready. Florida State Stadium is remodeled and pretty and done, and it's down there. So I think Alabama talent wise is much better than Florida State.
Sure.
But I don't think Florida State's issues last year. I don't think they were a 2-10 football team talent wise. Regardless, they've had a lot of transition. It's still an attractive school, and all that. Speaking of being careful, though, I'm gonna give you two right here that toward the bottom of the league, projected bottom of the league, where there better be some careful. Let's just say careful. Mississippi State at Southern Miss, which kicks off the same time as Syracuse, Tennessee, which I don't. That game's intriguing to me. I'll actually land in Atlanta about 2 hours before that kicks off. So maybe I'll see you at a local watering hole and we'll watch it. But
sure,
it's same time as Texas, Ohio State. But we got Mississippi State at Southern Miss. Southern Miss hadn't been very good lately. They got a new coach. He came from Marshall. He's a winner. Won at Marshall, left Marshall because they wouldn't pay him. Won the Sun Belt, didn't he? Last year, yeah, Marshall won the Sun Belt and then punked out of the bowl game. He had a lot of transfer portal guys follow him to Hattiesburg. They hate Mississippi State and Ole Miss with a passion down there at what they call the Rock in Hattiesburg. You don't want, if you're Jeff Lebby with 63 new players, to be the start of the Southern Miss resurgence. Because remember, for a long time before money entered the equation and all that, Southern Miss was a pretty good, mid-major, I guess you call it, group of 5 football team. And, they're not now. I mean, Todd Monken coached there. Larry Fedora coached there. Brett Favre played there. I mean, they've had good players through the years. So we'll see what happens with that. And then up in Lexington, speaking of Mississippi State, I know I give Kentucky a hard time about their schedule because it's always 1 FCS, 2 MACs, and Louisville. It's like a combo at McDonald's. I'll have the 2 MACs and the Louisville, but this is not your mama's ordinary MAC team. The mighty Toledo Rockets, led by Jason Candle, come to town, and they went to Starkville last year and won 41-17. Kentucky sometimes will play in early season games under Stoops, even if they're very good, Mike, closer than it should be.
Yeah, I've had a couple
I'd watch
of
out
those.
for those two. I'd watch out for those two.
Yeah, did you mention A&M, UT, San Antonio?
No.
I mean, I'm just saying that.
To me, that would be kind of more funny.
Like, I'm just saying you could schedule easier games.
Oh, I know. Yeah, UTSA has
they've been
a good coach too. Really
good coach. Like that's not the game you schedule if you just want to breathe easy for 4 quarters. I'm not saying A&M's going to lose it. I'm not putting them on upset alert. I'm just saying, if I want to schedule an automatic win, I don't put that game in week 1. So there's a lot of teams that are actually going to challenge themselves in week 1.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, you sure can.
It's not been a good. The Aggies, life as an Aggie has not been good, starting with the end of last baseball season when their coach hightailed it to Texas. And then football started well, ended like A&M normally does.
Basketball lost their coach.
Basketball lost Buzz Williams and really wasn't as good maybe as the year before. Still good. Baseball was a disaster. Softball was the best team in the country and got bounced by Liberty.
Yeah.
But saving grace, if you're an Aggie, guess what happened to the Schlossnagle and the Longhorns baseball team? They got put out in their regional. Who put them out, Mike?
Oh, gosh.
UT San Antonio.
That's right. Yes.
The Roadrunners. Okay, so if you're an Aggie, because they have to feel like the Almighty is not smiling on Aggie land right now, and UT, and so you got that. That's your man. Okay, I feel better now because the Sips, they call them the Sips, they got put out in baseball. Screw Schlossnagle. Let's go Aggies. Football season's here. If you lose that game to Jeff Traylor and UT San Antonio, in Kyle Field to open the season, all that good feeling about the baseball game, whatever happened to baseball is out the door because the Roadrunners took you down in football.
Yeah, no, that would be really bad.
I can't imagine.
It'd be an ugly day.
I think the football gods are more benevolent than that.
I actually think A&M is going to be improved. There are two teams that I think in the SEC, the number one improvement I'm looking at is Oklahoma. I think Auburn is going to be. Auburn has, for my money, maybe the best 1-2 wide receiver punch, one of the best offensive lines, and I still believe in Jackson Arnold, who didn't have a prayer with what he was left in Oklahoma last year. But I like improvement, significant improvement from Oklahoma. I like improvement out of Auburn, and I like improvement out of A&M, maybe on a lesser scale. So take that for what it is.